Folks, the deportation of illegal immigrants is causing a rift in the Christian community. Some are for it, some oppose it. But both claim the moral high ground. The question is, as followers of Jesus, what should we do? Now, let me start with a humorous but true story. Michael, a good friend of mine during college, went to Dartmouth for a summer term. He and his assigned roommate also happened to share a class. On the day of the final, the professor passed out the blue books for the exam, and then 5 minutes later, his roommate walked to the front of the class, turned in the blue book, and strode out. Later on, Michael asked him how he could possibly finish so quickly, and his roommate responded with this: "I clipped a $100 bill inside my blue book and wrote $1 per point." Stay tuned to find out the professor's sly response. This is Brad Bright. Welcome to the God is the Issue podcast, where I show how God is the issue in every issue. Why? Because we can trace all our human problems, including cheating, to our view of God. Now, if you had been that Dartmouth professor, what would you have done? Would you have taken the money? You know, back in the early 80s when I attended college, $100 was a lot of money. Or would you have stood on principle, refused the bribe, and given the student an F on his exam? Let me tell you what the professor did. He took the $100 bill, and then he replaced it with $37. He then gave the student a 63 on the exam, an F. Don't you love it when cheaters get what's coming to them? It makes you feel like there's some justice in the universe, doesn't it? The challenge is God says we should love the cheaters too. In 2023, 1.6 million immigrants entered the U.S. legally. 2.6 million immigrants entered illegally. In other words, 2.6 million migrants cheated. They cut in line. Now, in many cases, they're even competing for the exact same jobs as those who came here legally. Is that fair to the honest immigrants who in many cases waited years in order to enter the U.S. lawfully? Is it? Have we treated them fairly? Some folks call open borders compassion. I call it selective compassion. Compassion for some, but not for all. Now, Selena Gomez recently went online and shed tears about the current administration's new immigration policy. I assume she was motivated by real feelings of compassion. However, I never heard her publicly weep for the young girls who have been unfairly sex trafficked across the border. Did you ever hear her openly cry for the families whose children died from synthetic opioids? Or has she ever publicly bemoaned what happened to Lake and Riley or any of the young girls who have been raped and murdered by illegal aliens? Why do you think that is? Actually, she told us why. She said, and these are her words, "All my people are getting attacked. All my people are getting attacked." Now, by my people, I assume she meant Mexicans because her grandparents came from Mexico, and she included a Mexican flag emoji with her post. In other words, Mexicans are more important to Selena Gomez than the Lake and Rileys who were murdered in cold blood. Was her compassion real? I think so. But it was selective compassion, compassion for some, but not for all. Now, Selena Gomez is inadvertently showing us what woke compassion looks like in real life. The brown oppressed folks get to go to the front of the line because, according to critical race theory, the white oppressors are worth spit. And that includes Lake and Riley, who, by the way, she was white. Now, woke compassion is selective compassion, compassion for some, but not for all. Now, contrary to woke ideology, Jesus said we are to love our neighbor regardless of ethnicity. He made that crystal clear in the story of the Good Samaritan. Yes, love your neighbor means we should love the illegal cheaters too. But we should not love them more than everyone else. That's favoritism. That's definitely not what Jesus meant. That's selective compassion, compassion for some, but not for all. Folks, we need to see the world through God's eyes. He loves the immigrants who played by the rules to get here, and he loves the illegal cheaters as well. He loves the Lake and Rileys, you know, the victims, but he also loves their assailants. He loves and sees them all. However, I've left something out, haven't I? Contrary to popular opinion, love is patient, but not tolerant. Love is kind, but not weak. If you truly love someone, you will hold them accountable for their actions, won't you? Cheating, lying, stealing, whatever. Why? Because if you don't, are they more likely or are less likely to cheat, to lie, or steal again? I mean, for instance, if a teacher does not give a student an F for cheating on an exam, is that student more likely or less likely to cheat again? Let me ask the same question another way. Is it loving to enable cheating? Is it? You see, although tolerance often enables bad behavior, love never does. Love never lies and says that's okay when God says it's not. Now, here's the honest truth. If a person cheats once, they will probably cheat again when it is to their advantage to do so, unless they experience serious negative consequences. Let me ask you, how did Jesus treat cheaters? The Bible says he loved the tax collectors who cheated people just as much as he loved the honest fishermen. But he made it clear that the tax collectors had to change their behavior and pay back everyone that they had cheated. He loved them, but he never said that's okay. He never enabled them. Jesus never compromised love, and he never compromised truth. The same God who said, love your neighbor, also said, don't steal, don't murder, don't rape, don't cheat. And then he said, if you do those things, there will be consequences. And if that's God's perspective, it should be ours as well. God says we're to love the cheaters just like the non-cheaters, but we're never to enable them. If you side with the cheaters while ignoring those who have been hurt by illegal immigration, you aren't truly compassionate. You may feel compassion, but you're guilty of selective compassion, compassion for some, but not for all. That's favoritism. You're guilty of not even seeing the folks who have been deeply hurt by illegal immigration. I know those are hard words, but if we're going to solve the problems created by illegal immigration fairly, we must begin with complete honesty. We must recognize illegal immigrants for what they are, cheaters. And then there must be negative consequences for cheating, consequences that are equal to the offense. So the cheaters must be sent home. They must first experience the consequences of cheating so that they're less likely to do it again. Rescuing people from the consequences of their actions is enabling, not helping. However, compassion does also demand that we give them a second chance. So we should let them apply for legal entry without holding their past cheating against them. We need migrants who will come here and contribute. You see, the first step to correcting any problem is to be brutally honest with yourself. You can't sugarcoat it with words like undocumented immigrants. They're cheaters. I know that doesn't feel good, but it's true. So let's make America compassionate again for everyone this time. Jesus said we're to be as shrewd as snakes, but as innocent as doves. So the next time you hear someone call illegal immigrants undocumented workers, be shrewd. Recognize selective compassion for what it is. God is the issue in every issue, including the issue of cheating. So be more like Jesus. Love the cheater, but never enable him. To paraphrase Jesus, go and cheat no more. This is Brad Bright. Thanks for joining me today. If you found this podcast helpful, please like and subscribe. And when subscribing, don't forget to click on the bell so you'll be notified whenever I publish a new podcast. God bless. And never forget, we can trace all our human problems, including cheating, to a bent or broken view of God.